Sometimes you come across a story that's just filled with the most incredible beauty and at the same time, the most staggering disappointment. It's about a mountain getaway that's been promised for over a century, but has always remained just out of reach. This is the story of Gorakh Hill, Sindh's great unfulfilled promise.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Take a moment and just look at this view from Gorakh Hill Station. We're talking about a massive 2,500-acre plateau that rises over 5,600 feet up in the Kirthar Mountains. It is, no joke, a genuine mountain paradise right in the middle of Sindh, Pakistan. Cool air, these incredible panoramic views. It really does seem like the absolute perfect escape. And that's the big question, isn't it? The one we're really going to dig into today. Why has this dream destination, a place that was first seen as a potential resort way back in the 1860s, just never happened? Well, the answer is this tangled web of really difficult terrain, a lot of broken promises, and, as we're about to see, some truly shocking corruption. To really get the tragedy of Gorakh Hill, we first need to understand what makes it so appealing in the first place. What makes this place so special? It all comes down to one simple thing, really: contrast. So let's get our bearings here. Gorakh Hill is this high-altitude spot, right, on the border between Sindh and Balochistan. Now, what makes it so amazing is that it's this unique alpine feature in a province that's almost completely known for its huge, flat, and very hot plains. And this right here, this really drives that contrast home. While the rest of Sindh is just sweltering in 40-plus degree heat, Gorakh Hill is enjoying these beautiful, pleasant summers. And get this, in the winter, it's the only place in the entire province that gets snow, with temperatures actually dropping below freezing. It's really no wonder it earned the nickname the Murree of Sindh.
But it's not just the climate that's one of a kind. The ecology of Gorakh Hill is a whole other world compared to the landscape around it. It's a true oasis of biodiversity. See, the Kirthar Mountain Range is an ancient and ecologically vital area, and even with poor soil and not a lot of rain, this region supports this surprising variety of life. Botanists have found 74 different plant species up here. It's a fragile but really resilient ecosystem that's actually supported local tribes for centuries. This plant right here, Razzia stricta, is a perfect example of that resilience. It's one of the more common species you'll find there, and it's basically a living testament to how life can adapt and just thrive in this tough, high-altitude terrain. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this place sounds incredible, I want to go. Well, hold on a second. How do you get there? This is where the first piece of our mystery really starts to unravel. The journey itself is a huge barrier. The drive from big cities like Karachi is long, but it's pretty straightforward for most of the way. But then you get to this small town called Wahipandi. From that point, it's a 50-kilometer climb up to the summit, and that, my friends, is where the real adventure, or maybe ordeal, begins. I think this quote from a visitor just sums it up perfectly. The road is famous for being incredibly difficult. It's steep, it's narrow, it's winding, and the conditions are so bad that regular cars aren't even allowed on it. You have to switch over to a 4x4 Jeep with a really experienced local driver. So that's the final ascent in a nutshell. You drive to Wahipandi, you hire a special Jeep, and then you just hold on for a 2-hour bone-rattling climb to the top. It's an adventure for sure, but it's also the first big reason why Gorakh Hill has never become a mainstream tourist spot. But that difficult road isn't just a physical hurdle, it's really a symptom of a much bigger problem. The real story here is a long, frustrating history of big plans that have just consistently gone absolutely nowhere. When you look at this timeline, you just see this frustrating pattern. It all starts with the British, over 160 years ago, who saw the potential, but decided to pass. Fast forward to 1989, and the government creates a whole authority just to develop it. A decade later, a full master plan is commissioned. And yet, here we are, decades and millions of rupees later, and Gorakh Hill is still mostly just potential. So what on earth happened? All those plans, all that time, where did the money go? Well, a recent government audit finally gave us a shocking and deeply frustrating answer. This is the number that just makes your jaw drop. A government audit found gross mismanagement and potential fraud that added up to over 17 times billion rupees. That's public money that was supposed to build roads, resorts, and a future for this incredible place.
The audit report honestly reads like a how-to guide on corruption. It found 4 major contractors all mysteriously registered to the same house. It uncovered fake contracts, payments for projects that were almost finished and then just abandoned, and millions paid to a contractor who was already on a blacklist. This wasn't just some bad management, it was a total systematic failure. And if you want just one perfect, infuriating example of the waste, check this out. The audit discovered that equipment was being bought at prices inflated by as much as 218%. So instead of developing a resort, the funds were allegedly being used to line people's pockets. So when the current minister was confronted with all this, he publicly pointed the finger at the guy who had the job before him, basically washing his hands of the whole scandal. It just shows you the political fallout, with officials trying to get as far away as possible from a project that's now linked with corruption. So, after all of that, the history, the difficult journey, and the massive scandal, where does that leave Gorakh Hill? Is its future just as bleak as its past? And this is really the heart of the dilemma today. On one side, you've got the raw, undeniable beauty of the place. And there is a simple resort and some campsites that exist, but only thanks to private operators and some really determined tourists. And on the other side, you've got this long shadow of squandered billions and a dream that just never came true. And that brings us to today. There is a new plan. The government has approved a budget for the Frontier Works Organization, a pretty well-respected engineering group, to finally build a proper road. But it leaves us with the ultimate question. After 160 years of failure, can one new road really overcome a legacy of corruption? Or is the future of Gorakh Hill destined to be just as rocky and treacherous as the path to its summit?